Well, guys, we got some pretty impressive numbers coming out of Xbox. This is the first time seeing any numbers wise when it comes to the release of any of their latest hardware and software. We don't normally see a lot of numbers coming from them. Mostly what we see is numbers from PlayStation. Why? Because they've been running over everybody over the last generation. But now, thanks to Bethesda, Xbox has some impressive numbers. Basically, they've made enough money to pay for Bethesda twice in 3 months. Corey, what do you think of these numbers, and what does the future of Xbox look like?
Well, you know what? I think a big driving force here and why, Microsoft has done so well over the last little bit, obviously, is because of new console launch, right?
Yeah.
Where, we didn't get those exclusive games necessarily that everybody was hoping for at console launch, but what Xbox has is the best gaming service out there. Nobody can touch Gamepass. And anybody that has it like us or has at least tried it knows that there's so much at your fingertips there that it makes sense to just bundle it together with your Xbox Live. And I think more and more people are starting to catch on to the fact that Game Pass Ultimate is the way to go when you're playing on Xbox, right? I don't think any of us can complain about that service. The price of it is fair for what you're getting. Obviously, I think there's some issues with that and people are freaking out, but that's a whole other news article on its own.
It certainly is.
Overall, I think just the way things have been growing here is it's trending in the right direction, right? Game Pass isn't getting smaller. We're getting more and more games in the library. We're getting new games upon release. So, I mean, it's hard to say that these numbers aren't going to keep getting better as the years go on, but Xbox has to make sure that, when these exclusives come out, that they're hitting Game Pass, that, that they're going to be available for people to get on launch day. So there's some logistics that they need to work out moving forward. But overall, I mean, Game Pass is just killing it right now. What do you think, Scott?
Well, we've actually talked about Game Pass kind of more in its infancy, and we all had our own separate ideas for what, problems may arise from it, or just the bottom line, is it going to be worth it for Microsoft to leverage this kind of a service with a price tag like that? But these numbers that we are seeing, especially in the current day, are just insanely huge. It seems that it was somebody's really good business decision to go with Game Pass and offer that. And I believe the number is something like 18 million Game Pass users.
Yeah,
that is an extremely huge amount of people, and that's a lot of people that are also going to be now branded on the side of Xbox. They're gonna have these memories with these games and these services, and this first party titles coming day one is going to be a standard that a lot of people get really used to and really enjoy. And I think that's going to matter a lot, even when it comes to the next console launch. But we're in the midst of this console launch, so it kind of makes sense to me that they would be experiencing a lot of growth. But the numbers just are so insanely high. It's really something. It has to be record breaking.
Yeah, man. Well, like with 100 million Xbox Live Gold users, that number's really what staggered me, because we knew that a few months ago there was 15 million Game Pass users, which was huge. So the fact that it's boosted another 3 million, that's pretty wild. But hearing 100,000 live members like that number is what really just is insane to me. I would love to know, how much is on PC of this user base, but we don't have that much information, unfortunately. But
now it's obviously it has something to do with the fact that we're all living in this world called COVID-19 has all pushed us to home. So what do we do in that meantime? Well, a lot of people picked up Game Pass. A lot of people picked up the Xbox Game Service, and that's where they're thriving right now. So yeah, Scott, you mentioned, when they started this in the infancy stage, we're like, what the heck are they doing?
Yeah.
Well, boy, hasn't that paid off, right? Then they get the acquisition of Bethesda, and I think that really has a lot of, and EA played. So they have a lot of pull there now, what they didn't have before. So people are starting to recognize that Xbox is here. We're still definitely waiting on first-party titles. It's been forever since we've had an exclusive on the Xbox platform. PlayStation seems to be pumping one out every month or every other month. So, they have a great service over there, but now what they're working towards on Xbox, I think, is what they've been lining up ever since Don Maverick left Xbox and Phil Spencer took over. Phil Spencer came out and apologized for the shortage of the Xbox Series S and X and said they're trying to get as many new units out into the public's hands as possible. You know, and they've seen a rise in profit go for 86% now because of new hardware. You know, and then they get revenue share that's gone up 50% because every time they sell a game, that's profit. Every time they sell a pass, that's more profit. And just other first party, you know, trinkets and things like that that they pull out of their stores. When you buy something on Sea of Thieves, that goes towards Xbox. It goes towards Rare. So it helps build their community. I think that's what they've done the best, is that they didn't just go, here is the Xbox console. No, instead they went, here's the Xbox brand and service, aligning it with Bethesda and Game Pass and making it as a whole package. And I think that's why we're seeing numbers. Exactly.
Yeah, man. Playing with your friends on all platforms. Like, Xbox is like, you know, they're creating a community more or less, I guess. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Let us know if you're playing any Xbox. Did you get Game Pass? We all got it. InsideTheGame.ca.